Hey everybody, welcome to Wild Conversations. How you guys doing?
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah,
Hello.
welcome one and all. So,
Yes, definitely.
yeah, we're a man down.
How's it going, Jamin?
It's going
Yeah.
great here. Yeah. So our good buddy Brad couldn't join us today.
Yep.
So
But we will be stupid in his honor.
we will be definitely stupid in his honor.
Not to say that Brad is stupid. Not
No.
trying to say that. No.
Nope.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Although he would probably call me stupid.
likely. So, probably same here. So.
Yeah.
Brad's good at giving us grief. So
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. So this is the first though, as well, that two of us are actually
In the same place.
in the same room here.
I
Yeah.
know, that's
yeah. So that's kind of
crazy.
yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
and I can poke you.
Great. Uh oh. I better watch out. I better not say anything bad. Yeah. Yeah. So you got an interesting call right before we started this, Jamin.
Yeah, I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Yep, my buddy Scott.
David probably doesn't want to do this show anymore.
I know
He's like, come on, let's wrap this.
he's like, hey, there's a great gray owl here, and I'm like, seriously? Yeah. So anyway, so you guys have fun with the show. Yeah. Okay.
So
just joking.
do you get calls like that often from like people you know that kind of give you a heads up about cool stuff around?
Sometimes I've got a few friends that will share. We kind of share information when we get it. So
Nice.
yeah, it's nice to have some friends that'll do that for you, and you reciprocate when
It must be. I don't know.
Oh, really? Well, you're always like different places.
Yeah, you travel around a lot, but here it's
I am. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of us kind of know. So up here, you kind of have like your seasonal things where most people know where to go for example, like for moose, there's a few places that people go typically to find the moose because like during the moose rut, you know where they're generally going to be, right? And so those are kind of like the most popular places to go. For sheep,
Gotcha.
for sheep during the sheep rut, there's like one main spot where a lot of people go. There's other places to go which you can get them more to yourself and everything. But it's a lot more work to get there, and of course that's rewarding when you can do the work to get there, like we did. Like we went up Denali National Park and hiked up and found those two amazing rams. So there's opportunities like that, but generally there's like these main spots that like you go up north for grouse, for sharp-tailed grouse.
Yeah.
During like the early spring for the when the grouse do their dance, and they it's really cool to see. They're like little mini jackhammers, how they sound, like rooting and tooting on the
I've
ground.
never seen anything like that. That sounds really cool though.
It's amazing. Yeah. I want to do a video on those because they're just so fun and so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's different times.
Hey, hang on. I'm going to try and change some settings. Somebody's mentioned that you're echoing on the audio, so I think it's because we're not using headphones. So I'm just going to try that real quick on our end here, and just try some headphones and switch the sound over to that real quick. I want to see if that solves this problem, and then we'll kind of move right along. So hang on. Bear with me 1 second there. Sorry, everybody. Let's see. We'll go. All right. And we should hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, let's see if that. Yeah, I can hear you just fine. We'll see if that fixes the problem. So if anybody can let us know in the comments, hopefully that solved the echoing from Jamin.
Yeah. Checking my connections here.
But that's really cool. You have those that network of friends that kind of help out like that.
Yeah, and I think there's like different photographers have different networks, where they all kind of it's who you know and who you're friends with, who will kind of give you the heads up, because not everybody will, like there's some people that won't say anything. So you kind of get your friends who you trust. I have a pretty small circle of people that I actually trust to, like, because you don't want 10, 15, 20 other photographers showing up at the same time, getting the same shots as you.
I was just going to ask, is that what's part of the trust for you?
Yeah,
it's like you want to be able to
it.
tell somebody that isn't going to like blast it out to everybody, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that's all part of it, like you have a responsibility, I think, as well to like not share it with the world and
Okay.
get a bunch of people on that animal that's
Yeah.
trying to do its thing, and so
Definitely.
you don't want pressure.
All right. So they're saying the echo is worse now.
So
Sounds like he's coming through two different mics at the same time.
All
right.
You know what? I bet it's my speaker here.
Okay.
Let me try something different.
Yep.
Mixing it up. Can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, are we sounding all right? Hey there, everybody. While he's trying that, how is our sound? Yo, do you have any friends that like give you like intel and stuff like that? Like, is that kind of a thing for you or no?
No. I mean, I'm in the Hilton
guys.
Head Audubon Facebook group, so I will see like stuff through that. But
Gotcha. Okay.
buddy, we're talking here.
It is kind of weird, yeah. Usually we're like staring at the screen to talk to each other,
Yeah.
so I guess
Feels
that is
weird
kind of
to
weird.
do that.
Yeah. So now we're like not looking at the audience when we talk.
Hello, audience.
But then it's weird to talk to you
At
and
the
look over
screen.
there.
When you're right there.
Exactly. All right.
Okay, we're fine. Hey, we're fine.
Okay, so we're good. We got good
Cool.
audio on our end. So yeah, I wonder if that was maybe it. We'll see once you get that going back there again.
Oh, we're perfect.
Hardly, but thank you, Harisha. Well, I'll speak for myself on that one. Sorry.
We're perfect
Just
together.
yes.
But individually,
Yes.
maybe. We're definitely flawed.
Yeah, I'm the same way as what Jamin was saying though, with like sharing out stuff, especially back home in New Jersey. It's so populated up there. There's so many photographers that it's kind of like I usually try and not share with too many people. There's very few people that I'll share stuff with because it just gets out so fast, and then there's so many people around that are usually like ready to go to a spot like that, and then things can get kind of overwhelming really quick. So I totally get what he was talking about with that.
Yeah, I think here it's like there's not many things like that,
Yeah,
And Hilton Head's like such a small place. So I
it is
think
a small
there's-
community. Yeah,
Yeah, there's not many things.
Yeah, and one of the places you shoot a lot,
It's just like
private
me.
property.
Yeah.
There's never anybody there unless you
Yeah.
brought them there. So
Yeah.
that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
And then that beach that you shoot,
It's
which
like
is the
it's
same
like
with most of the
public
beaches,
beach.
yeah,
Yeah.
that I go to.
Yeah.
There's so many people there all the time anyway
Yeah.
that it kind of doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It's a well-known spot, and
Yeah.
and there's plenty of space for everybody, for a bunch of photographers to be out there, and then
Yeah.
everybody can still
It's like
shoot.
huge, massive,
Yeah.
expansive. Well,
Exactly.
except for when the tide is high.
Yeah.
So
How's it going?
yeah.
We'll see if that's better.
Well,
Okay.
I had
All right.
these.
So
I had these Apple headphones on, which have their own little
Oh,
speaker.
thanks, Harisha.
So I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
might
So I
have
wonder
been.
if it was
So
picking that up.
yeah,
Maybe.
Then
So
double
we'll see.
duty.
Let's anybody in the comments once you hear Jamin.
Yeah, let me know if you're-
Let us know in the comments if that kind of cleaned things up a little bit with the audio. Because it'd probably be tough to go through a whole show here, and I mean we like to hear you, but
Not twice.
twice in a row.
Yeah, I think
you
it's
know?
annoying.
And then look at this, Harisha.
I know, she's talking about me. Just
Yeah.
me. Oh, gosh, your dang things. Okay.
My headphones don't fit in her ear
Yeah.
that well,
Ah.
so I guess I need to build up more wax on them before I shove them in her. That's really gross.
Oh, it's hilarious, man.
Your headphone.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. He says it's not better.
Little bass
Darn.
guy. Yep.
Oh wait,
Oh.
somebody else said it's fixed there.
Fixed.
Somebody else-
Still there.
Oh, so we're
Okay.
getting
Oh,
mixed
boy.
results.
Okay.
All right. Well,
What to do?
Yeah.
Jamin, I guess you have to be mute for the show.
Well, I'll just.
yeah, a lot of people saying it's better, and okay, wait, it's I hear it now.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Man. Me neither. Unfortunately, not fixed. So, you know what, Jamin? Check in Loopback. We'll do some live track troubleshooting here.
Yep.
Check in Loopback. Just make sure when you're talking, there's only like one device that has like an input for you.
Okay.
And that should be it. And then also, I guess, check after that. You should just have like your desktop microphone should be the only audio input there.
Yep.
In Loopback under the sources, and then I guess check in Zoom and make sure. Well, no, actually, Zoom doesn't have anything to do with that, so it should just be there. Let's check in OBS and just make sure that that is the only audio source, like for input, is just that whatever the device is that you made in loopback should be the only like microphone set there.
Yeah, I've got desktop audio, mic, auxiliary, screencast audio.
Oh, that just changed.
Yeah, so it should just be just screencast audio. You have desktop mic in there as well?
Yep. That's probably the problem.
So let's subtract that out and try just screencast audio.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
I think that might fix it.
Trying to see how to do that.
So I think in OBS, if you just select it, there should be a minus right under it.
Yeah, it's in the audio mixer. I've got desktop audio showing up. But in the sources, it just says screencast and display.
Oh. But in the audio mixer. Oh, huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties here.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we'll get it figured here. So under sources, it's only listing screencast there, but in the audio mixer, there's 2 audio devices. Oh, can you just turn the volume all the way down, the one that says desktop? Just drag the volume slider and just turn it all the way down. It should mute it.
Let me see.
Low bass guy said, learn ASL real quick. No problem. Problem solved, I mean.
Okay, let's see if that worked. Testing.
Okay, all right.
Can you guys
Yes.
let me know if this is...
Give us some feedback.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we
it
will
says
keep
if your mic
going.
audio is coming through his desktop audio source, that could be the problem. Cool.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I turned down the desktop
I don't even know what
audio.
ASL is, so we'll have to check that out. I'll have to look into it. I don't know of any other software. This is the only one I've ever messed with. So, but hopefully, it just takes a second because we always have a delay here. That hopefully we can get the feedback from the listeners.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I could just turn it up and listen here myself.
Yeah.
In the audio mixer.
It's funny. It's not that bad, though.
Okay.
Under sources, it's only listing. Yep, it is, wow, it really is a long delay from when we actually talk
and then...
to when it actually comes out.
Yeah,
here,
it
so,
is.
Yeah. Okay, everybody does say that they can understand this, so I guess at this point,
Keep
we'll
talking.
just kind of move forward with the show, and hopefully that fixed it, you know? Because, you can still totally understand you. So, yeah, on with the show. So, we'll do it. So,
On with the show.
On with it.
I guess after we took all that time, shall we share the screen and get started? I think we're starting with me with some stuff.
Okay.
All right.
What you
do
got
it.
going on?
Here we go. Can you see that?
You got my squeaky
I
chair.
do have the squeaky chair over here. I hear it now.
I know.
And you
Every time I do the podcast,
can't
it's like
help but do it there. Yeah.
squeaky chair.
You got to kind of want to move it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not seeing your screen yet. So,
Not seeing it, okay.
Yeah, so.
Oh, I've got
just
to actually share my screen.
Yeah. Share it in Zoom. There we go.
You
Got it. That's it.
Booyah.
All right. So this was a situation I wanted to talk about that just happened like maybe, I think like a week and a half ago, maybe something like that. I was down in Florida. It was
beautiful.
a really interesting situation that happened. So it tied in a bunch of like new things that are, well, one major new thing for me,
Xena.
which is, you're right, it was 2 new things. One new thing is living in this camper van, and it was interesting to me how it ties into just the concept of being out in the field as much as possible. And so living in this camper van now, I can work from anywhere I have a cell signal and kind of get my internet connection to do a lot of the online work that I have to do and that sort of thing. So there's this place in Florida near where my sister lives, and it's like a causeway that goes out by this the water between the mainland and the barrier islands where the nice beaches are. And so I go and park the van there a lot because it's a beautiful view. It's usually nice, like a little bit more breezy. So when it's been hot down there lately. And so it allows me to have like a nice view, some cooler temperatures, some nice air moving through, and there's usually some wildlife around there. So there's been times I'm sitting there looking, working, and I look up and there's like dolphins swimming right out the back of the van, or
Jeez.
there's like along these rocks right here. There's like a rocky kind of shoreline that they've built up, There's almost always a little blue heron there. Sometimes I've seen a tricolored heron or great egrets and stuff like that kind of feeding along those rocks.
Dude, you need
ruddy turnstones, sanderlings.
Sorry to interrupt, man. What you need to do
Yeah.
is a wide angle of a little blue heron on these rocks with a sunset like this.
Yeah.
I have thought about that already of just setting up because he works the shoreline.
Yeah.
So I figure if I can see the direction he's working, set the camera up there and then just wait for him to walk through it because I could nestle it right down in there.
Yeah.
And he should not see it at all. And if I can just trigger it remotely. So it's crossed my mind already. Yeah.
Goals.
Yeah,
So
those rocks are
I might
super
have to try and do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's really cool about it is I can be working and then see wildlife, and then all of a sudden I can just jump out and shoot it real quick and then get back to work. You know what I mean?
So
So I've
crazy.
never had that experience in my life. Usually when I was at home getting work done, I was in my condo and it's like I didn't see anything. I saw out my window, but it's really neat to be able to kind of be out in a place where I could potentially shoot while I'm getting work done and then just jump out and shoot.
Yeah.
And so on this evening, I was working until the sun got really good. The sun was good. That little blue heron was out there. I went out, started working with him, and I'm trying to do some like silhouette stuff with him along these rocks as that sun was setting. And I'm working, and all of a sudden he takes off. And it's in an area where there's tons of people all the time. So it was really weird that he kind of took off. It was really surprising. And so all of a sudden I picked my head up and looked, and here comes somebody walking a dog like right next to me, and that's what had spooked him off.
Yeah.
And at first my reaction was like, oh, come on, really? Like you couldn't have like walked around a little bit, But I was like,
it's a free
whatever, it's a public beach. There's people around. It's not my beach. So I got over it really quickly. Plus I've photographed that probably same bird dozens of times already. And so I just started like walking along to see if there was anything else. And the sun was setting like that. And I just looked up and was like, wow, that sun's really pretty going through these thin clouds. Let me just take a photo of the clouds. And then Jamin, if you can go to the next photo. Or I guess it's the next photo.
It's the
Yeah.
next one. That's fine.
There we go. So I pointed my camera at the sun, and with the Z9, this is the other new thing, right? It's really cool that camera now allows you to go up to 32,000th of a second. So it's 2 stops darker than the 8,000th of a second shutter speed that all my previous cameras ever used to have.
Yeah, they top
so I
out
could
that.
still. Exactly, they top out there, right? So I can shoot a little bit darker without having to raise my aperture up as much, but it was still so bright, I had to do 100 ISO, I think it was, 32,000 of a second, and F9.
Wow.
And so I set the camera to those settings, right? I took one picture of the sun like that, because I just thought it was a pretty scene with like the tree line and the way it was coming through the clouds.
What are those things at the
Yeah.
trees?
And I was getting ready. I did the first one with the composition with the sun on the right. And then instinctively, I always do this. I'm just like, well, let me compose it with it on the left. And as I did that, the pelican flies through.
Jeez.
And I just see it and I just click. One frame of this. So I took 2 frames of the sun, right? One was the sun by itself. The second one, the pelican just happened to fly through. And then I got this shot. And so it wasn't a planned thing at all.
Luck.
It was totally just that availability of me being able to just jump out and shoot when the light gets good. And then actually it was kind of, the guy did me a favor of spooking that little blue heron away, because if that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have been walking around and pointing at the sun. I would have been working with that bird,
Yeah.
And so it was just these like couple of like a confluence of weird events that just led me to just point my camera at the sun and happen to be lucky enough for this pelican to fly through. And then I got a shot like this, and
That's cool.
I love when I really work hard and plan for a shot and then it comes together and I get it. But it's damn nice when sometimes something like that just happens. And I was out there for no lie, 15 minutes, probably not even 10 minutes.
Wow.
And then I hopped back in my van and was just like back to work and doing stuff. And then, walked away with a shot like that. And so
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing when something like that can kind of happen,
Yeah.
It was really, really neat.
Those little unplanned miracles, that happen. And,
Yes.
there really is, because like you said, like
Yeah.
one shot is all you got, and you nailed it. Like, there it is, that stuff doesn't happen very
And if
often.
I was standing there, yeah, right. And you're right. If I was standing there a minute earlier, pelican doesn't fly by. If I was standing there a minute later, that pelican doesn't fly by right there, And then, of course, me being the perfectionist, I'm like, I wish he was down a little lower, like right in the middle of the sun,
No, it's just
So it still won't get a 5-star.
Or like 3-star? No, 4. 4. Probably.
Nice. Jack Stutz says, "I love serendipity."
Yeah, that's a perfect description of when that
That's
happens.
great.
You know.
Yeah. And low bass guy, that is. Yeah, I think the Z9 is all electronic, isn't that? It doesn't have a mechanical shutter.
Oh yes,
right?
Oh, people are asking, is that electronic shutter? Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. Yep. You can stop the sunlight before it gets to the ground, he says. Nice. Yeah, it's only electronic shutter in that camera. It doesn't have a mechanical shutter. So yes, that is correct. But they have made it fast. I've been shooting a bunch of birds in flight with all kinds of wing positions, and I don't see any weird artifacts from it at all. So
nice.
It's been pretty good. But
cool.
I haven't shot the camera a lot yet. So
yeah,
hopefully tomorrow morning.
I haven't either.
Have some fun somewhere.
I haven't shot.
No,
I haven't shot mine at all yet either. So.
Oh, you haven't gotten yours yet. Wait, didn't you order one though? Didn't he?
I did. Yeah, but I doubt if I'll see one this. I doubt if I'll see one this quarter. So. Yeah,
they're in short supply, I think.
Yeah. This is like the most ordered, the most pre-ordered camera ever. I think
from Nikon ever. I think. Yeah.
Well, they really had. I mean, they had to,
pent up demand for sure.
Yeah, they had to nail it though. I mean, they absolutely had to deliver on this camera, or they were just. I mean, they were just going to fall away. At this point. They were so far behind, and everybody knew it. And if they didn't deliver, it was just like, I don't think they would have been in the top 3 anymore. They would have.
I have to agree. I think they would have really had a hurting if this camera didn't kind of put them back in the ballpark with everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. Let's see. Low base guy was asking, is rolling shutter an issue? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I haven't seen any issue from it. And I will tell you, like their previous, the Z6 that I was shooting, the Z6 II that I still have and was shooting for the past year, horrible with that. I mean, I almost never shot that thing on silent shutter unless it was just like, ducks swimming in the water, kind of slow and that kind of stuff. Then I would shoot silent. But for everything else, I would put it on mechanical shutter because the rolling shutter issue was horrible on that camera. Whereas this, I've seen nothing. I've been shooting, probably I think around 3200th of a second, 6400th of a second, stuff like that of birds in flight with their wings all over the place. And I haven't seen any rolling shutter issues. It's been really clean. I haven't shot a ton with it yet, but from what I've seen so far, super, super clean. Yeah, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's really cool. I can't wait to try it. I hope I have it by the time our workshop happens this summer.
It would be really fun, man.
I hope so. Gosh, that's a long time from now. Gosh, it's like June, right?
Yeah. And hopefully I get my 500 back soon too. So.
Yeah, I know. What are you shooting? Like, what are you shooting now? What's your go-to lens now when you're down that 500?
Man, my go-to lens since I got it has been my 200-500. The Nikon 200-500. It's a great lens. I mean, it's really, really good.
Trusty lens.
You gotta have it.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to.
Mine is so messy.
You gotta. They tend to get messy when you're crawling around the mud. But it's such a versatile lens, and at 5.6 all the way through, it's super nice. I like being able to zoom out, 200 to 500, having that nice range, and my version is super sharp, so I love that. I know that people have gotten some lemons out of that lens, and once in a while, you get one that doesn't work right or it's not sharp or something. But my experience with this one has been nothing but good. I had one screw popped out at one point, and so it would go from 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, it was really weird. It would go from 500 to 340 millimeters, and then it would hard stop. And I was going to send it to Nikon, but then I decided I was reading some forums online and trying to figure it out. And this one guy actually took his apart and figured out what was wrong with it. And there was a screw loose inside the zoom mechanism. There was a screw that popped out, and that was catching on the the zoom thing.
Zoom mechanism?
Yeah, the zoom mechanism. So he actually detailed everything he did to fix it in this post. And so I printed that out, took it to my local camera repair guy, and said, "Hey, this is the issue I'm having. Can you fix it?" And he did. He fixed it within a few days, and then gave it back to me, and then my insurance covered that. Like it was like $160
wow.
or something. Insurance paid me back for that, and so problem solved, easy fix. And that's been the only issue I've had with that lens, and it's
And it's been fine since.
yeah, it's been great since. Yep, no issues.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's kind of
that's
my,
really cool, man.
you know, it works really well on my Z6 II. I use it a lot on that, and it does really well. Yeah, so that's kind of my go-to lens right there is the 200-500. I still get the range, you know, that I would. I just, you know, the bokeh at longer ranges isn't quite as nice, but otherwise, you know, if you know,
and isn't it a little bit slower? So you just kind of have to just be prepared for that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The AF is slower on it. You don't lock on quite as quickly. But yeah, you kind of prepare for that. You kind of work around that, and just kind of know that you know that's gonna potentially be an issue. And then the other thing about that is just, and this is something that is just kind of goes hand in hand with photography in general. But like you watch your backgrounds a bit more because you don't get a soft bokeh, you know. So you just, you know, but that's kind of how it goes. Yeah, everybody says that different. It's either, I think in European, you know, they say a lot of like bokeh, and here like a lot of people say bokeh, so it's like, whatever.
Yeah, you get to pick.
Yeah.
I don't think there's...
Or
Emily just goes G-balls.
G-balls, yeah.
Well, they're not always golden, though.
This is true.
Well, Ray got a big, huge G-ball right here, so.
Yeah. Just a singular.
One single G-ball.
Yes. Do you notice, Emily, like the slower focus with that 2 to 500?
I was going to say, I didn't really notice that stuff, but
no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're just happy with it when you're shooting it. Yeah.
It's just a little slower. Yeah. You only notice it if you're really trying to notice it. Like I went through some trial with it just to like see the difference, and it was a noticeable difference, but like, yeah, if you're not really looking for it, then the time I noticed it, I've only ever shot the lens once, and it was a client that had it. It was actually Susan. Okay. She had that lens, and we were out shooting black skimmers in flight.
Oh yeah.
And they're fast and narrow profiled and really hard, and she was just like struggling, and we switched lenses. And I actually was shooting my 300 f4 with a 1.4 teleconverter in it. Okay. So it was 420 millimeter, still 5.6, right? So same aperture. But I put that on, or I gave her that lens and tried hers, and immediately I was just like, oh, like this is not tracking that well at all on my D4S at the time, you know? Yeah. And she was just like, oh, this is so much better for those specific birds in flight like that, you know? Yeah, interesting. So, but that's a tough target for anything, you know? Yeah. Like the best gear is challenging with those birds when they're flying over wavy water and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not what you're usually shooting anyway. So it definitely has its advantages when you have a prime lens that can handle that kind of stuff. But I think for most of what I'm doing right now, the 200-500 works fine. So it is what it is. You know, I've got to work with what I've got at the moment, and hopefully my 500 comes back soon. But it was weird, man. It was like this. Did they tell you what was wrong with it yet? No, I think it actually. No, it's stupid that way. I think it actually doesn't even get to them till like Tuesday or something. So it's still en route. But yeah, it was giving me like a fuzzy, like generally just fuzzy. Every photo, you know, nothing was sharp, and I don't think it was a fine tuning issue. Just call them all artistic when you post them. Yeah. You want to get that fixed for sure. Yep. So I wanted to try it when the atmospheric conditions were a little bit different, because sometimes that can affect your lens, you know, and it's affected it. Yeah, for sure. It's had, you know, issues in the past with, you know, like if you get out of a warm car or something and it's really cold outside, then like it takes a minute for everything to acclimate. And so I thought maybe that was the issue. But no, that was not the issue. But no. So, yeah, gotcha. Yeah. So often I got. So should we hear your story?
No, you have a question or something. Or no, what's that? We'll do the question.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, this is you. You're up. Here we go. So I have a question right away.
Okay.
Can I ask my question first? Okay. So
That's not me.
That's not you? Okay. Well.
No, that's part of the story.
Okay, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. What's going?
Okay, I might not know the answer because that's not me.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on with this little contraption right here. This is not your usual ground pod. You see that?
It is.
Well, is it? It's Marianne, Karen.
Okay.
I don't know. Zoom in on it. She does something funky with it, like to get even lower. What does she do with it? She flips it.
She flips the lens foot and hangs it.
Yeah.
So it actually gives her like another inch or so lower instead of having it from underneath. On her gimbal, that's what actually works. So it ends up looking like it's higher, but the lens is held lower.
She's like super risky. Like I'm
that's like
pretty.
She pushes.
Look at that.
Like, I'm pretty. What's the word? Like risky and like
cautious.
Like no, not the opposite of cautious.
Oh.
Careless, clumsy.
Like careless.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm not saying she's careless. She's not careless. She's just like reckless. Reckless is the word I'm thinking.
Okay.
She would admit it if she's watching she's like very like I've shot with her multiple times and I'm like she just like when lower than low like her thing is like we were shooting and she had to stop shooting during the workshop.
She didn't have to. She had no choice.
No, that's what I'm saying. She had to stop shooting because her camera stopped working because I think she like dumped it or like it was like so anyway she goes like I'm like you are like and she goes lower and then you can possibly go and so that's not me. That morning I was shooting with Marianne Karen, who takes amazing photos. She's super good. And so she was visiting Hilton Head and she reached out to me and just like, hey, you want to shoot? And the funny thing is we had shot, I think it was the day before or the morning before in the marsh. And so we made plans to shoot the next day at the beach. And I was like tired that night and I was like having a rough night with like grieving. And so I had texted her that night saying like, hey, I don't think I'll probably go to the beach in the morning because I'm just like really tired. I just need to sleep in. And then I had woken up early and was like, all right, I'm clearly the birds are calling to me, I'll be there.
Because you woke up early anyway.
Yeah, I woke up early and I was like, I'm coming. And I wasn't sure about the tide too, like it was high tide. And so we get there and there's like a bajillion birds there. And I was super happy I went, of course. When are you ever not happy to be out in nature when there's a bunch of birds and a beautiful sunrise?
Yeah, no doubt.
And a wonderful person to shoot with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you can see, there was just so many birds. And,
some of them.
And then if you go to the next shot, you can see the sunrise was like this beautiful pink ball of sun coming up over the horizon. And I was shooting actually the 70 to 200 that morning. So
you were close to those birds at that point, if that's just 200 mil?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
I don't know what the settings were.
Yeah.
But but there were so many birds. So it was like a very overwhelming experience because it was like there was just so many birds all around. Like I know I keep saying there were so many birds, but like there were so many birds. I have a video. That was the video I posted on the WPC Instagram too, where I was like laughing and cackling because there was like so many birds.
Yeah.
I was like, there's birds all around and just like everywhere, and you just can't help but like be just enamored by all everything that's all around.
Is it overwhelming photography wise though? Like
it totally is. Yeah, and so like I have so many shots from that morning, and I just kind of. That's a situation where it's like you shoot a bunch. Of course, especially when the sun is rising like that. Like that's not an every morning sunrise when it's like so beautiful and where you have the pink and the where you can capture it like that with the atmosphere and whatnot. So I mean, it's like a bit of a chaotic shot, but I like it anyway with the skimmer coming in. And
speaking of skimmers,
we were just talking about.
Yeah, but it totally shows off. I mean, you said it was chaotic, but it's the scene. It was what was in front of you. It's what was going on.
Yeah, and like there's so many different types of birds.
Yeah. I love the bird flying. I mean, that bird takes the show anyways. So everything else is just like
there's still a main subject.
Yeah, that's all just adding to the story, which I think is fascinating. So
yep.
Yeah, totally cool.
Yeah. And then, and then like after the sunrise, then it's like, okay, well, what do I do after this? After the sun kind of comes up, we're past this like few moments of glory there.
Yeah.
And then you just, we were both kind of like, all right, what do we do now? Like, who do we focus on after? There was just, a million subjects in front of us. And, it was like a really interesting morning because then there was like this huge cloud bank and it was like the turn to overcast like super quick. So it was
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we it was just it was just a really cool morning. And then
so when you have a sun, like the sun coming up like that, does that make it easier for you to kind of narrow your vision down on what you're going to shoot? Because for me, it's like I'm looking for anything with that sun in the background.
Anything with the sun. I mean? But then when you had I had like a wall of birds in front of me, so it was like I couldn't isolate. Like there was like a wall of birds plus like birds flying everywhere. So it was like I have multiple shots that I posted from this morning where there's just like so many birds. Like that was the same morning as like where I have all the birds and there was none in front of the sun. The one I was talking about. Yeah. And so it was like, it wasn't like I could easily isolate. It's not like one of those mornings where you're like searching for just one bird to isolate in front of the sun because there was like
that's not happening.
Hundreds of birds everywhere. So I couldn't do that. So it wasn't like easy in that sense. It was like there's too many birds. So what do I do in that sense? And I just kind of tried to shoot anything with the sun and like I guess anything looks good with that sun though to me. So
Low Base Guy is asking how much are you underexposing to get the sun like that?
All the way.
So are you shooting like manual when you're shooting something like this?
Yeah.
Like auto ISO, no auto ISO? Okay.
No,
all right. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So are you watching your meter when you're shooting it?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you setting it so you're just setting it under?
Like under. Yeah. Like pretty under.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
under.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, because if not, if you expose it probably neutral, you'll blow out the sun, right?
Yeah.
You'll lose the detail in the sun. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I could bring this up more and get more color out of it. I did a quick edit on that and
just keeping it more moody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it works.
And I just wasn't quite sure. It was dawn too, so like it really wasn't bright yet.
Sorry, Low Base Guy. It's so underexposed. The lens cap is still.
Okay, all right. It was not. The sun is not risen yet, my friend.
Nice. That's hilarious.
No, you're right though. Those real early when the sun's that low,
like
it isn't
sun,
that bright. Right?
It's
you
not
can look
bright,
at it and still see the color in it, which is nice. And then probably like less than 5 minutes, a couple minutes later, when it's up like a little bit there, all of a sudden it's blazing. You can get like no detail in it, right?
Right.
Yeah, I've totally seen that.
But what I'm saying too is that like the time of day that it was is like there's not that much brightness in this. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's not really that bright, So if we think about reality in the situation, it's like, this is true to reality.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It's that's the one time of the day I feel like sunrise and sunset when the sun's that low in the sky is when you can actually like look at it with your eyes
and be
not squint and you can see the color in it like that. You're just like, oh, that looks amazing,
Yeah.
But then it's that couple minutes before or after, I should say, where the sun gets so bright and all of a sudden it's amazing how fast it gets so bright that you can't expose it anymore.
Yeah.
Or else the rest of the scene is just like lens cap on, black, dark.
Yeah. I underexposed this so much that this photo behind me was everything black, and then I brought it back. Low Base Guy. So sometimes you can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could probably bring, and it does show darker on the screen there too. So
yeah, Marianne, I guess just showed up. She said, "I think I was there that day." Yes.
You were there. I was talking about you. Here, show the picture of her.
And you know what, Jamin? People were asking if you could zoom in on that. I think if you go to that photo and Command Plus, I think it'll just automatically zoom in. If I'm not mistaken.
There's Marianne.
Yeah, I tried that and it didn't work. And
really?
I don't know where my zoom.
That is weird.
I don't know where my zoom in.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could totally,
Hold on a second. Let me try this.
Oh, there you go.
All the birds.
What am I doing here?
Whoa.
There we go.
Cutting out a chunk of the photo.
Oh, now you can see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's
right
Marianne and her muddiness.
Yeah, it looks like almost.
And her recklessness.
Yeah, see what it looks like.
I swear. That wave's gonna crash into her camera right there.
What were you gonna say, Jamin?
Yeah. No, it looks like there's a post coming out of the ground pod there, and then there's like a arm hanging this thing. But I can now kind of see.
Yeah, and so that's like the curved of the gimbal going out the other side. So we're just seeing it from the side and it looks straight, right?
Yep.
And then it's just like, then she's got the thing flipped so it drops. So
Yeah.
She's so funny. When I first started shooting with her out at the Great Salt Lake when I went to visit out there, she would like keep calling it the devil pod because she's like, she hates the ground pod because it like limits like where you can move. But when you're in some water like that, shallow water, you know, to like hand hold your camera the whole time and not mistakenly just like tip it in or something.
Yeah,
you know, the ground pod becomes better, even though you can't maybe get as low as where you want. So there's a lot of times where I've shot where I would like to get a little bit lower, but you know, it really is just not safe. And I'll fully be reckless with my gear a lot of the times too, but you know, there's just times where the ground pod just makes it easier to manage. Especially a length of time. You know, if you're just going in for a minute and then back out, but if you're going to lay there for 20 minutes trying to hold that setup the whole time, you're going to mess up.
Oh, it's so nice.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Except with the gimbal thing, I have dunked a few battery
swung
grips.
it in?
Yeah. I just like, Luckily, it was only the battery grip that died. I killed 2 battery grips. And now I don't shoot with the battery grip anymore.
I've only killed 1 battery grip.
That was the solution to that. Yeah.
I've never had a battery grip.
Yeah. It was useless.
Well, you've had
you can just flip the thing.
D4s, and now you've got a Z9.
I've always had. I had D3S, D4S. Yeah, I always have the cameras with the built-in. Yep.
Yeah, so it's built on. The only thing you have is the Z6 II.
Correct. And I just didn't get the grip for that. Did you get the grip for that?
No, I bought. I bought a grip, but it's not a battery grip. It's just a pinky extender with an ARCA adapter.
A pinky extender.
Yeah,
it's fantastic because the grip on those
makes the grip better, right?
Yeah, the grip on those is so small that if
you have your pinky.
If you have big hands, you can only fit 3 fingers on there
and hold your pinky out.
Your pinky out.
Yeah, I shoot like this. It's proper. No, you don't shoot that way.
Yes.
You don't shoot that way. That is not proper.
Of course, you have to have a British accent.
Yes, of course. Don't shoot that way, you.
Oh, that's so funny.
You savage. You bloody savage.
Yeah.
How dare you shoot that way?
I gotta start doing that with people like clients, you know.
You must shoot with your pinky out.
You have to shoot with your pinky out. Yeah.
Shoot with the pinky. No, you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah, I just slapped their hand off of their camera. Can you imagine? Oh, man. I could have some fun with people,
Dang it.
Nice. So, all right, since you're in charge, what are we doing next? You want to do the question or the the picks?
Questions right here. So let's do that.
Oh, sorry, I tried to ignore him.
Yeah, Dave Watson. Hi, Dave, from Vancouver, British Columbia, just down
I think was he here?
Just down the coastline from me. Says, firstly, thanks so much for sharing all your content online. I have a question for your next show. How does everyone store all their photos? Do they use or trust the cloud? The cloud?
The cloud.
Or just have large...
Everybody's deaf now.
Yeah, or just have large drives.
Maybe we were talking too loud.
We might have been.
Sorry, guys.
My British accent might have been over the top.
We got excited on that one.
Over the top. Rip headphone users. That's great.
Sorry, friends.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, got a little carried away with that one.
Down to normal levels.
Okay. I'll start that off.
Go for it.
I've got large drives. I've got like 4, 5, 6. I've got a 6. Let's see. I've got an 8 terabyte. I've got several 4 terabytes. I don't typically store to the cloud.
Okay.
So I just kind of back stuff up on local drives. But what
do you use for backup? Like, do you run like an automated thing, or is it just like a manual backup that you do? You use Time Machine?
It's manual when I do it, which is not very often. So I'm taking such huge risks. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, back it up. So I know.
As long as you know.
Right? Yeah. You do cloud, right? Like you back up.
I do
to
both.
Cloud. Yeah, you do both.
Got
a
million backups.
I thought you did.
So I do a local backup. I still use Time Machine on the Mac, which is like the automatic one.
Yeah.
But since I'm now, working out of the van and I'm working on a laptop all the time, that's just not always running because I used to have the desktop that was just on the iMac. Everything was always on, plugged in. It just ran automatically in the background, right?
Yeah.
So now I do Time Machine, and I do it. I think I have it every 2 days or 3 days. I have like a reminder set to remind me to just make sure I run that every couple of days to back up the latest stuff. And also, if I have a really amazing shoot, when I come back from it, I'll just make sure I run the Time Machine backup on that. And then other than that, I also do the online Backblaze is what I use. But again, that's a little bit more sporadic now because I just don't quite have the constant always on internet connection unless I'm somewhere that has some Wi-Fi, and then I'll just leave my computer run overnight to try and do that. But then I've been balancing, for the last 2 weeks of living out of the van, I haven't plugged in at all. So I've been running just off of solar and the recharging of the battery from when I drive the van around. And I've been getting through for 2 weeks without being plugged in, which is really awesome. It's just convenient to not have to worry about plugging in, unplugging and all that stuff. And I can just be anywhere and not have to worry about my power. But it means I'm not going to leave the laptop running all night overnight because then it'll kind of it'll take too much off of that battery and then I will be running low and I'll have to manage that. So my online backup has been a bit more sporadic, but I'm doing local. And then the other thing I thought about is this van might be kind of a target for a potential break-in, right? So if somebody broke in, I actually have a lockbox that I cable locked to one thing that's bolted down, like one of the seat frames in the van, so that if somebody does come in, hopefully they're not going to take the time to try and figure out how to undo that thing or cut through that lock or break through that lock and get into that. So that's where I keep my backup hard drive. So that way, if they steal the laptop that's sitting out with the actual hard drives, I still at least have a backup copy of everything.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's what I've been doing lately. Yep. Yeah. How about you?
Don't ask me this.
I have to help set her backup up before I leave on this trip. That's one of my goals. Yes.
That's hilarious. The low base guy, Ray powers his computer and internet with one of those stationary bikes.
No, it's the hamster wheel, just human size. So I'm just running that.
Dude, you're living the Saturday Night Live dream, buddy. In a van down by the in a van down by the river.
Yes, totally. Yeah, Jack Foley, the motivational speaker.
Living the dream.
I know, man. That's pretty wild.
Cat.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Somebody asked, do you back up everything you shoot or just the best stuff?
Well, you cull all the crap.
Yeah, I mean, I keep basically what I back up everything I keep, but I've usually within a week I've deleted 80% of what I shot. As long as I'm current on my schedule, if not more than that. How about you?
Well, it's all just there. So
I know, the same way, Jamin.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just on my hard drives, and I've been trying to make an effort more to delete more stuff. But I could really delete a lot more than I do. I've been trying to get more proactive on that and clean out because it takes space, and then you've got to buy a new hard drive, which is another, 100.
I used to buy new computers, so.
Oh, nice, yeah. But I mean, you can get a 4 or 5 terabytes for less than $200, but still,
They are pretty cheap now. Yeah.
Yeah, but
and to give everyone an idea, my entire photo catalog, I think it's hovering around 90,000 photos right now from when I started shooting. So they go back to 2005, and I have all of those photos on less than 3 terabyte. But my first camera was 12 megapixel, and then the second one that I shot for the next 6 years was 16 megapixel. And just now I finally have a camera that's these higher resolution things with this Z9. But I'm also shooting that with their they have this high efficiency RAW format that about the same size as the Z6 2 files. So it's 30 megabytes a file. Yeah. Huh. So I'm doing that just because I haven't done a side-by-side test, but I don't see any quality difference. They seem to be fine. And so if I can save the space, I'll do that,
Yeah, interesting.
But being heavy on the culling has allowed me to do that, has allowed me to keep that many years on such a small amount of storage.
Yeah, you cull pretty aggressively.
I do.
And you do it like right away. Like that's the thing that's amazing. Like your workflow is like, as soon as you have the opportunity, as soon as you get the downtime, you do your culling, and like you have everything that you want, and everything else is just gone. And
correct.
Yeah, I admire that. That takes a lot of discipline to do that, and to just be like, nope, this one is garbage, and it's not what I want. And so it's gone.
Well, and you know what? Even before this was my full-time job, like now it's easy to say, right? Because this is my job, right? So it makes sense that I would have the time and spend the time to do that, right? But even before that, my job was still kind of that as a wedding photographer. I culled those and narrowed it down. So it just fit right in with that workflow too.
Sure.
So it's always kind of fit in with my lifestyle and my job. So I think that does make it a little bit different than most people, where it's your hobby, you have your other job that's taking up your time, and who has the time to sit there and really go through all these photos in that same manner. Whereas I've kind of just always had that time built into my job.
Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Patricia says Ray is cutthroat.
Yeah, this is very true.
No photo clutter, says El Money. El Money.
Yes, no.
Money.
Definitely.
Oh, that's Libby.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Where did I see this?
Yeah, not yet.
We are delayed on the comments.
We are, yes.
Yep.
I think some of it though is too like having that emotional attachment to the photos that you don't have, or you don't, or not everybody has the same ease of deletion.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
it's funny though.
Low time getting rid of things.
Low base guy says that he keeps everything, even his rejects, because you never know when he's going to need a spare body part or a background.
Nice.
What?
A spare body part
from like a bird to like come in and clone or something like that.
Yeah,
really?
That's true, because I've had.
Oh, I never do that.
Yeah, I've had photos where the wingtips are cut. It's a great photo, but the wingtips are cut off. But the frame right before that is not quite as good. Like maybe the background's not good, or the head's turned wrong,
or body position or something.
Yeah, or
it's
something.
got the piece you need.
Yeah, it's got the piece you need. So like you just fix it. You just fix it. And I hate wingtips cut off. Like I hate wings cut off. Like I don't ever. I know some people that like them, and I've seen photos where wings are cut off and everything, and it just never seems to work for me. I don't really care for that in photos. I like to have everything there. Yeah. All the body parts counted for.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. All the body parts, yeah.
Hey, Libby.
And the other thing, some people say to me too, they're like, you never know if you want to go back and maybe find like a good photo and maybe you tossed it and maybe missed something there. And so I guess my only answer to that is...
You can take a better one.
Well, it's just for me, and I think a lot of the people I work with, right, it's more fun to go out and shoot again, right? And so instead of like going back through old stuff, I feel like I guess I'd rather go out and just shoot new stuff and keep trying to make something better. But I also get, especially for someone like that lives where you live, sometimes the winter is so hard to get out. So you just have this time that maybe you can and want to go back through some of the stuff from the past year and maybe see if there's any gems still in there, which you do all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You start sharing like photos from the summer with us in the winter in our group chat, you know what I mean? And they're amazing photos. So it's good you've kept them and, have the time to do that now. So I get that.
Yeah, that's fun for me to do because like you said, like December and January, even like half of... start getting into November. The end of November starts getting dark, but December especially is tough. There's just it can be really hard to get out, and the light. Like the time you can get out is such a short window because of the lack of light, and so I kind of just use December and January as time to like, hey, let's take a cruise down memory lane and see what we can dig up. So I like to have them there. Besides that, like when I'm out, like I tend to like find. When I'm editing, I tend to find like 3 or 4 that I like and then kind of leave the rest. I'll leave the rest for, now. So it's kind of fun to do. It's kind of how I've kind of done things. So
it's almost like part of your workflow.
Yeah.
Is you're going to kind of revisit those photos, and so that works for you. So
and
there's
like,
no right or wrong with any of this stuff.
Yeah, and I'll like 5-star stuff just so that I can go back and look through and be like, oh yeah, I 5-starred that, so that means that that's something that I'm going to want to look at again later on. And during December, I can go back and I 5-starred this because I remember why I like that, but I didn't edit it for one reason or another at that time, so I can like go back and look at that and be like, okay, do I really want to edit this? Is this going to work for me? And or flag it or whatever, I mark it in some way so that I can go back and be like, I like this one and want to take it through. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Nice. All right, so on to our photos.
Yeah, let's share some
that we chose.
Wild
combos hashtag.
Yeah, the hashtag.
Emily.
I chose this one.
Yes.
Because it is so cute and
it's
so fluffy.
I love it. Happy Plover Appreciation Day. Little piping plover chick.
And the thing great. Too, I don't ever get to see piping plover chicks. I get to see when they're a little older and not so fluffy and adorable.
Yep.
But would we be able to see what is in California? Would we see piping plover?
Snowy plover chicks.
Oh, nice.
We might see in June.
In California.
In California. But so this one stood out to me because it was just so darn cute, and I love the light and the pink tones in it, and so darn cute. So that's what I have to say about that.
Is it cute?
So darn cute. It's a little fluff ball. Come on, look at it.
I like how
best of luck for surviving in the brutal world for these little babies.
You gotta love that pinkish orange rim lighting on that little bird, and then the fact that nothing is in focus except for the bird. He got low enough that any part of the feet are cut off, which totally works because it's just all your attention goes right to the bird. You got a little bit of complementary color in the top there, but it's not so bright that it takes away from the bird. And then you got these little pink bouquet right to the side. See, it's nice. Great choice.
Yeah. So for both of you guys, you and Jamin, if you are shooting something on the beach like this, do you actively try to get low enough so you don't have anything in focus if you can, so it's just like that? Or are you, because I've talked to photographers that really, they're like, oh, I have to see the feet of the bird and stuff like that. Or will you, not worry about that and just go for a look like this where there's nothing else in focus because of the hill in front has hidden that focal point, you know what I mean?
No, I think it depends on the situation because I guess sometimes I want to see things like the textures. If I'm shooting when I was shooting the 70-200 and the other day I have one with the sanderling and you can see the ridges and stuff with the textures of the beach, and then other times sanderling and it's just his little head popping up and the
everything
whole
else is blurred.
Freaking body is covered by sand or whatever. But then sometimes it's nice to see. I don't think about it as I don't have rules. So, I don't.
Gotcha.
Oh, it
no,
must
that's
see
good.
the feet.
Yeah.
It must not see the feet. No, there's no rigidity.
I'm with you on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think it's a situational thing. Because sometimes sometimes you're in a situation where that can't. That's just not possible, and you want to see the feet anyways, because you might get some fun foot up action or, just something a little bit interesting. Yeah. It's just kind of whatever the situation calls for, I think. Whatever.
Yeah. I just find it very interesting. I've worked with photographers that have to see the feet of the bird, and I'll suggest let's try and get lower so nothing else, because I think it's a neat look. Like you said, there's zero else in focus, right? Your eye has no choice but to go to that subject because nothing else is in focus. I think that's a really neat look. It's kind of a little bit more dreamy, right? And so I think I try to suggest that sometimes, and I've had a few people
be like,
and it's totally fine, but they're I have to see the whole feet and the entire bird has to be in focus and that sort of thing. And it just, I always find that kind of fascinating that some people have those kinds of restrictions that they put on themselves. And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own set of rules for how they shoot, or lack of rules.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I try not to put too many restrictions on myself in my shooting.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. Yep.
Yeah.
Logan called you sassy.
Yeah, it's an awesome shot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really cool. All right, let's go to yours, Ray. Nathan Watson.
Yeah, I chose this one from Nathan Watson. Yeah, so an Australian photographer.
Yep.
And
all around good
when
guy.
I first saw it come, yeah, really nice guy. When I first saw this one come up, it just stood out as something like I would have loved to have shot myself.
Yeah.
I love that rim light. It's just like a songbird, almost warblery kind of looking. I don't even remember what species it was. Oh, a silver eye. So some kind of songbird.
James Bond movie.
And yeah, the use of foreground bokeh there is really, really nice. And I love how the left side, the front, like the glowing plant there kind of just balances out the photo.
Yeah.
So the whole thing goes from like light on the left, like the brightest, and then kind of to dark. And that bird is almost like the darkest thing, except for that rim light just kind of glowing back there.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot going on here, but it all feels like it works to me, and it still leads your eye back to that bird in the end.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, you're right, man. It's a very striking image.
Yep.
It's like, there's a lot going on in there, but it all works together so well that it's just the composition is right on.
There's some fun conversation going on in our comment
just talking
section.
About feet over there in our comment section.
Foot lovers.
Logan and Lobez.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, some people really have a thing for feet, so birds and all. Yeah.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have one picture from like when I first started taking pictures of birds on the dock, because that's where I started. I have multiple people who bought this photo. Maybe they're all into feet. I don't know. But multiple people bought this photo from me. Or maybe it was just because I was just starting out. And it was a snowy egret. It was like the bottom. I guess it had like the some feathers and like the legs of a snowy egret and the feet. I'm going to have to let Rose out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it showed like the yellow feet of the details of like the yellow feet.
I don't think they can hear you from over there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Showed like the yellow feet of the snowy egret, and like some details of the feathers of the bird.
Yeah.
But yeah, isn't that interesting?
It is, yeah. Well, snow egrets have really neat feet that stand out too.
They're like
so
yellow and the black legs.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Like,
they're striking.
But like multiple people bought that photo.
Nice.
I know you took a picture of snow egret feet recently.
Yes, I did. Yeah. And then I have another one coming up of I think everybody will like this.
The wood stork
feet coming up, which if you've ever seen, they're really weird feet.
Feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're such a strange looking
ballerina
bird.
feet.
They are. Yeah, they really are. Which one did you choose, man? Let's see.
Yeah. I picked this one.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I am not going to do this photographer the dishonor of butchering their name. Her name, it looks like. So I am not going to even try to pronounce. So my apologies for not being able to pronounce your name. But this is incredible. I was late picking my Wild Convos photo, and so before the show I'm like scrolling down and was like looking for one, and this one stopped me. It's
almost more fun to choose that way.
Yeah. And so this one, like, it's not even really about the bird. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Right through the eye hole.
Eyeball.
That is.
Ouch.
Yeah, that is so crazy. So,
rough.
This
is such a cool photo.
Well, and to be shooting that close to begin with too, and then keeping that in focus, that bird's moving around quick. When they get fish like that, there's some shaking, and that's not an easy shot at all to capture.
Especially with a DSLR. I mean, you don't have the advantage of mirrorless locking on, a target. I mean, this is the Nikon D750 or 7500 is the hashtag there. So that makes it even harder. But I'm wondering how much this was. I wonder what the original, I wonder how much it was cropped in, or if at all.
Yeah.
It might have been.
I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
Based on that background and just the level of detail, it feels like it was probably not cropped too much, but it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah. But yes, what a cool photo.
That's
man.
gruesome.
Savage.
Yeah.
Deadly.
That's nature right there, man.
It's deadly, as our buddy Brad would say.
Page. Deadly, literally deadly. Yeah.
What's everybody's take on the fact that there's just part of the egret's eye just starting to show? I kind of, for me, I kind of wish I maybe saw the eye of the egret.
It would be great
to just
if
kind of
somebody was
poking
that egret's eye, and then it would be like full circle.
I think I would like to see the eye, whether it's out of focus or not.
But I don't know if that would be more distracting and pull your attention up
away
there.
From,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
either that
we're
or
drawn to their eyes when we see it.
Take a little bit, cut it even so just, you can't see any of the eye.
Like crop it right there.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I wonder, I feel like if I saw the eye, my attention might go there and it would pull me away from the fish a little faster.
Yeah.
So maybe, even though I kind of want to see it, maybe it's better that I don't, you know?
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice. Yeah.
Yep.
But I love it. It's a powerful photo. I really like it, man. Nice choice, dude.
Yeah. Really cool. I like that one too. So.
Excellent.
Right on. And we're not doing a critique this show, right?
No, I don't think we had that set up. I kind of just, honestly, I just forgot about it before we got started here. So
what?
I should have. I think we have some photos, so we'll pick up on that next time on the next episode for sure. Yeah.
Totally. Accountability. Oh God.
Yeah. Plus, I think we did a pretty good long show here anyway. So without all that stuff,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
We did a good one. So. Do you have any shooting plans coming up, Jamin, or is it just going to be some of this winter time going back in the old stuff?
Yeah, I am going to go see if that great gray is still around.
Oh, he's about to go shoot the gray.
Yeah, you should, dude. All right, so let's wrap this up and get you out there.
Yeah. Other than that, I want to go after rock ptarmigan. So nice. I don't know if it was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend I went up after willow ptarmigan. I remember I was talking with you guys.
Yeah.
And I did a video on that, so that'll be coming up on my YouTube channel here maybe next Friday. So that was really fun chasing these willow ptarmigan. There was a bunch of them out there, and I had a blast. But I really want to go for rock ptarmigan.
You could hear it in your voice when you shared it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. But rock ptarmigan, you actually have to hike up higher. The willow ptarmigan will kind of be in the lower elevations, but the rock ptarmigan like to be up on the top of some of the peaks. So that's going to require a lot more work to get up there. But I've been really wanting them because they're really cool. They've got it's like the laurel is black that connects their beak to their eye. So they've got this black stripe, and then they've got this big, the combs, their eyebrow combs, are just so starkly red, and they're just a really striking birds. So I really want to go after them. Yeah. So
that'll be fun, man. Well, good luck with that, dude.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Other than that, hopefully some owls show up and lynx show up. That'd be awesome. So we'll see.
No doubt.
Yep. Whatever comes.
Man. Excellent.
Yeah. What about you? What do you guys got going on here in the next couple of weeks?
Tomorrow morning we're gonna go shoot. We haven't decided whether they're gonna do beach or marsh, so we got to look at weather, tide, stuff like that. But see if I can. Yeah, we're gonna get out and I'm gonna try that new camera.
Yeah, nice.
Have fun with that.
And maybe the cedar waxwings if they ever show up in the backyard.
Yep.
Yeah. We had some Bohemian waxwings in the neighborhood a few days ago.
Oh, that's nice, man.
So I might try to track them down at some point. I haven't been really active at trying to find them this year. Yeah, they're really pretty.
Stunning birds.
I didn't photograph them much last year either, so we'll see. I'll see if I get any opportunities with those birds. I don't know if I'll take a really active approach at trying to find them and photographing them this year or not. So I haven't really decided.
Or just if they're around, you'll take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I'll just go looking for them specifically, but if they land in my lap, I'll probably take the opportunity. So we'll see.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right, dude. Well, thanks for hosting this one for us. It was it was fun, man.
It was good. Well, aside
and we'll figure out the audio issue for next time.
Little technical difficulties, but thanks everybody for sticking with us and for your patience as always.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And we'll see everybody on the next one.
Yep. It's been fun, everybody.
All right. Bye, everybody. See you, Jamin.